Okay, today we are going to discuss about the Aeneid. The Aeneid is a Latin epic poem written by Virgil. His full name is Publius Virgilius Maro. The Aeneid is the poem is named after the Roman hero Aeneas. That poem tells the story, the legendary story of Aeneas, who traveled to Italy with his fellow Trojans and establish a new homeland for his people. So we can see that Aeneas was the son of Venus. Venus is the Aphrodite in Greek mythology. Aphrodite in Roman mythology is Venus. Aeneas was the son of Venus and son of Anchises. Anchises was the Trojan aristocrat. After the fall of Troy, the gods asked Aeneas to flee from Troy and to establish a new homeland for his people. That's why Aeneas then traveled to Italy with his fellow Trojans to make a new homeland for his people. Okay, this is the story of Aeneas, and each of this poem is divided into 12 books, each of which explores the different incidents and events in Aeneas' journey. Okay, today I will be discussing about the book 1 to 3. Okay. Book 1. Book 1 opens with Trojan ships. Trojan's fleet, sorry. Book 1 opens Trojan's fleet sailing towards Italy. Okay. This poem opens with Trojan ships sailing towards Italy, but in the middle of the way, they are shipwrecked by a storm created by Juno. Who is Juno? Juno is the queen of the goddess, and in Greek mythology, she is Hera. Juno hates Trojans and hates Aeneas and is trying to prevent them from reaching Italy and fulfilling their destiny. So, Juno's hatred for Trojans and Aeneas is the main reason for their difficult journey. Okay, Juno really doesn't want them to reach Italy and start a new life or establish a new kingdom or country for Aeneas' people. Okay, Juno said. Because Juno's hatred for Aeneas and Trojans, as we know that Juno's hatred for Aeneas and Trojans are the main reasons for their difficult journeys. For this reason, they traveled all around the long Mediterranean Sea for a long time, and they get into storm. They face terrible they get into storm and they land at the terrible places. They have all these misfortunes because of Juno, because Juno didn't like them or Trojans. And now just when they are about to reach Italy, that time Juno had constructed a new trick to prevent them from reaching Italy and make their travel or journey so difficult. Now we know what was her trick. Her trick was Juno goes to Aeolus. Juno goes to Aeolus, the wind of course. Aeolus, god of wind. The god of winds, Aeolus. She compels him or kind of bribes him to create a massive storm that will scatter the Trojans and stop them to reach Italy. So the storm comes and its terrible winds are raging, and that time the ships are being tossed into one another, tossed into rock, thrown up into the sky, thrown under the wave, and but before it can completely destroy, the Trojan ships can completely destroy. That time the god Poseidon, in Roman mythology he is Neptune. Neptune is the god of ocean, okay, or sea. Neptune is the god of ocean or sea. He stopped this storm and he calms the storm down and sends the winds away. And he became angry because this storm has been created without his permission. But the Trojans have been scattered. Many of their ships have been badly damaged, and the Trojans they find themselves finally on the shore of Libya, not in Italy. So, however, Trojans land at North African city called Carthage. However, Trojans finally land at the North African city called Carthage. North African city called Carthage. And Queen Dido was the leader of this city, Carthage. That time, Dido welcomes the Trojans and receives them happily, and Aeneas introduces himself to Dido and thanks her for her hospitality. Okay, then we can see that Dido organizes a feast. Dido organizes a feast where the Trojans can participate and enjoy. Okay? This is the story of book 1. Now I am discussing about book 2. Now I am starting book 2. Book 2, Dido. Dido was the queen of Carthage. Dido was the queen of Carthage. Now Dido tells Aeneas, Dido has asked Aeneas to tell her of the fall of Troy, or tell her of his story. So book 2 started with the narration of the fall of Troy, and Aeneas begins his story. Aeneas tells her he witnesses many deaths of his soldiers, including his close friend Hector and his close friend and cousin Hector. And the brutal treatment of his people, at the hands of Greek. At the hand of. Okay. Aeneas witnesses the death of King Priam, and that was very much horrifying for him to see, because Aeneas Aeneas sees the king equal in age to his father, and he was being killed brutally. Aeneas sees Helen, and his all anger goes towards her, because he thought that Helen was the reason for this war, and Helen was the only reason for creating this war. And but then Venus, who is Venus? Venus was the mother of Aeneas. Venus restrains him and tells him that truly Troy is being destroyed, but not by the mortals, but by the gods. And she also tells him that please flee from the Troy with your fellow Trojans, and establish a new country, a new homeland for your people. So Aeneas thus escapes Troy with his followers and with his father Anchises. Aeneas' father Anchises, Aeneas' son Ascanius, his wife Creusa. He escapes Troy with them. Creusa is missing. Okay. However, Creusa was walking behind Aeneas, and she is missing. Then Aeneas goes back into the city to search Krisa. But Krisa came, the ghost of Krisa came into, the ghost of Krisa appears and tells him that flee from this place, leave this place, and you will have a new wife in Italy. So, and I'm lost, and you won't get me again, so you can leave this place. Immediately, you can leave this place. Okay. Then, Aeneas tells the story of tells Dido the famous story of Trojan horse. Trojan horse. You know this? Maybe knew this in Iliad. Okay. Trojan horse. Okay, Aeneas tells about the Trojan horse, tells Dido about the Trojan horse. Aeneas begins his tale from that moment that giant wooden horse, the appearance of the giant wooden horse is spotted in the city gate and sparked debate amongst the Trojans. Many Trojans seized the horse as a gift, perhaps a peace offering, but Laocoon, who was Laocoon? Laocoon was the character name Laocoon. Sorry. Laocoon. He is the priest of god Neptune. God Neptune is the priest of god Neptune, and he speaks out to the Trojans, saying that this horse may be a trick, and don't trust the horse. Horse must be a trick. Maybe he speaks out to the Trojans that this horse must be a trick, and maybe there are many Greek soldiers hidden inside the horse. And don't trust the horse, don't trust the Greeks. But, so we see that Laocoon has really figured out the things, and he is trying to tell the Trojans not to believe the Greeks, but and saying that this is ridiculous. And don't trust the Greeks and don't trust the horse. But the Trojans didn't believe him. So for the Trojans, they are just ignoring Laocoon, and they say to him, "This is that you were crazy." The Trojans didn't believe him and saying that you were crazy. But Trojans are not totally convinced to get this horse bring inside into the city yet. So we can say that Trojans are not totally totally convinced to bring the horse into the city yet. The Trojans then find Sinon. Who is Sinon? Sinon was a Greek soldier. Then Trojans find Sinon, who convinces them that this horse is a gift, it's not a trick, and he tells the Trojans that the Greek attempt to make him human sacrifice to have in order to have a good weather sailing to home. And he escaped, but he secretly escaped death and left behind. Secretly escaped death and was left behind. Sinon was continuously trying to make them believe, but Sinon then explains about the Trojan horse. He says that again Sinon explains about the Trojan horse and saying that this horse Greeks angered Athena. Athena was the goddess of war. Sinon said that Greek angered Athena by stealing the Palladium. And the horse was built to appease the goddess. This horse was built to appease the goddess, but it's so big to it's so big for the guests and not to be hauled inside the city. And as you know that Sinon was lying and he was making this false story to make the Trojans believe him. Okay. Now we can see that, as we know that Sinon was lying and he was making this false story to make them believe. Next we have the death of Lagoon. Meanwhile, huge snakes came from the ocean and they seek out Lagoon's son. Huge snake suddenly came from the ocean and they seek out Lagoon's sons to kill, and Lagoon himself comes to try and rescue his sons. But it's too late, and the snakes were so big and powerful, and snake killed Lagoon and his son. So you can see that snake killed both Lagoon and his son. And Trojans think that it's a divine punishment, and Lagoon got this punishment because he was continuously saying against the Trojan horse. Okay. So the Trojans finally the Trojans thought that the gods killed himself. The gods killed Laocoon for defiling the gods' gift, and of course we know that this was not true. Trojans thought that Laocoons got the divine punishment from the gods. So they finally, Trojans finally set out to bring the horse into the city with much celebration. And the night the Greeks come out. The night the Greeks come out of the horse and initiate the sack of Troy. This is the story of the Trojan horse. Trojans think that Laocoon is clearly hated by the gods, and that's why he got the divine punishment from God. We should bring the horse inside the city. This is the story of the Trojan horse. Now we will know about the backstory of Dido. The Queen Dido has the tragic story. Backstory of Queen Dido in book 3. Okay? Dido was the capable and beautiful queen of the Carthage. But she has a backstory as well. She left her own homeland. When her husband Sychaeus was murdered by her own brother Pygmalion. Pygmalion was the brother of Dido. So Dido's husband Sychaeus was murdered by Pygmalion, her own brother Pygmalion, and Dido's husband Sychaeus was very much in love with her, and Pygmalion murders him. That time, Sychaeus comes into Dido's vision and tells her that Aeneas, flee from this place and don't trust your brother Pygmalion. He has murdered me, and please leave this place with your followers and make a new homeland. Okay. Say, take your followers and flee and start a new homeland. Okay. So Dido similar to we can see that Dido similar to Aeneas flee from her home country with his followers and establish a new city, Carthage. This is the story of Dido.